emotions haven't let go in so much space. Sorry. And when you're out there, without care, have a touch. That's music going. Yeah. All right. So we have finished Unit 4. We're going to move on to Unit 5. We just have a few weeks left of school. We have changed things up the way we're doing things. I'm mostly just focusing on you reading and practicing your reading. Of course, you've always got Rosetta Stone. You should be reading on your own 15 minutes every day and all that good stuff. But for now, we are going to turn to our digital textbook. So let me go ahead and share this. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen now, which here we have Unit 5, short stories. And the essential question is, do people get what they deserve? We see some guys here, clearly boxing. Not really a boxing ring exactly, but definitely a practice boxing gym. The title here is Fair Play. So we like to enter into certain kinds of competitions. Boxing is one of them. But even while we see two people fighting against each other, like in a boxing or maybe UFC match or football game or soccer even, not that it happens much in soccer, because soccer is pretty boring. But the point is, when we watch these games, we want to see people competing against each other to win. We want to see a winner. But we also want to see them do it fairly. If I put a brick in my boxing glove and I punched my opponent with a brick, nobody cares to see that. That's not fair. Nobody likes that. There's something about us inside of us that knows that doing things equally and someone winning, that's exciting. All right. Do people get what they deserve is our essential question. And we get two proverbs here. The rain falls on the just and the unjust. The rain falls on the just and the unjust. That means the rain falls on the good people and the not good people, the people who believe in justice and those who do not believe in justice. The rain falls on both of them, meaning they get the same blessings. Their crops are watered. They are cooled down in the hot weather. They all get the same treatment. And then Martin Luther King Jr. says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Anything that is wrong threatens everything that is right. If I let you get away with a lie this time, that threatens all of your truth next time. If I let you cheat on a test this time, that means all of your tests are at risk next time. If the president can get away with doing a bad thing this time, then every other president is at risk. So the point is this, trying to maintain and hold on to the idea of justice. All right, so let's move on here. Got some allergies, I apologize. All right, here we get this little cute cartoon. And the old woman goes, how would you feel if the mouse did that to you? The cat has the mouse by the tail. And she's saying, well, how would you feel if the mouse grabbed you by the tail? Okay, a couple things here. So, do rules and laws protect people from being treated unfairly? And do laws protect everyone equally? Those are good questions. Think about it for a minute. Is there ever a time when someone should not be punished for doing something harmful or against the law? It's a fascinating question because just today I saw in the news people are down at Huntington Beach protesting Governor Gavin Newsom's new rule. He says all the beaches are closed, and hundreds of people right now are standing at the beaches saying, no way, not fair. The rule was made. A rule was made by a person in power, but people are saying, not going to happen. We don't like this rule. So that's interesting right now during all the coronavirus crazy. Okay, so some short stories. Short stories are about more than characters, setting, and plot. Read the final cut to understand theme in the stories. After reading, summarize the story with a partner. Write a list of several possible themes or messages for the story. So you've got this in your textbook. I'm going to go ahead and read it right now, and we'll kind of talk through it. So Rachel had to admit it. She was looking forward to the final project for English. They could choose any book and any project. Mr. Hill, Rachel's teacher, explained that he wanted them to work in pairs. That made it even better. But Rachel's feelings changed quickly. Mr. Hill came up to her and said, "Rachel, I want you to work with Jane." "Jane?" Rachel looked over at her. She had mousy brown hair, wore goofy outfits, and never spoke. Rachel heard one of her friends laugh. "This project is ruined," thought Rachel. Jane walked over to Rachel's desk and just stood there. "Oh, sit down," Rachel finally said. Jane slumped into a chair and didn't say anything. "Okay," Rachel sighed. "Do you have any ideas?" "I thought we could do a film," Jane said. "Yeah, right," thought Rachel. "How?" Jane continued. "I've been kind of playing around with making films for a while. I could show you." They agreed to meet later. After school, Rachel and her friends were at the library talking. Rachel didn't even notice when Jane got there. One of her friends made things worse by saying, "Rachel, your new friend is here." Probably sounded exactly like that too. Once they were settled at the library, things changed. Jane took out a laptop and started a film clip. "This one is about dreams," she said about her first film, which was amazing. "And this one is about my mom." Rachel choked back tears. The short clip was a goodbye to Jane's mother, who had died recently. Rachel asked, "Can you teach me how to do this?" Jane answered, "Yeah, I can." After that, Rachel spent all her free time with Jane. She learned about the camera and about editing. She also learned about her friends. They were mad that she was not spending time with them. Every time they saw Jane, one was sure to say, "Nice outfit," and laugh. Finally, it was project day. Jane let Rachel set up their clip. They had spent hours on it. When it was done, no one said a word. Then Mr. Hill started to clap. Everyone joined in, although Rachel noticed that her friends were not clapping quite as hard as the other kids in the class. After class, Rachel's friends met her at the door. "So now you can come back to normal and drop that geek." Jane was packing up. Rachel looked hard at the girls and turned without saying a word. She started to help Jane with the equipment. Jane flashed her a smile. Then Rachel asked Jane, "Want to get some coffee after school?" Aww. All right, so one of the things that we see here is that Mr. Hill pairs Rachel not with one of her friends, but with kind of the quiet, nerdy geek girl that nobody likes. Do you think he did that on purpose? Was it an accident? And then we find out a little bit about Jane that her mom got sick and died recently. Do you think maybe that's why Jane is quiet all the time? And then furthermore, we learn that Jane is really good at video editing. And Rachel's like, "Hey, you're good at this. Teach me how to do this. I like what this is." And all of Rachel's friends, I always make them sound like Valley Girls. They're chewing their gum. They're like, "You don't have to be friends with her now that the project's done. You can go be friends with us again." And Rachel at the very end goes, "I think I'm going to stay with Jane because she was really sweet and nice." All right, let's go to the next page here where it's going to throw a twist at us. So let's imagine this is how the story ends. After class, Rachel's friends gathered at the door. "Now that that's over, you can get back to normal and drop that geek." Jane was in the back of the room packing up her equipment. Rachel smiled at the girls and went back into the classroom. She started to help with the equipment. Jane flashed her little smile. Rachel smiled back. After school, maybe you and I and the others, she nodded her head in the direction of the other girls, could go to the mall. We could maybe help you pick out some new clothes. Jane responded quickly. That would be great. Without my mom, I haven't really felt much like shopping. Wow, that's a cool ending too. In the first ending, Rachel leaves her friends. In this second ending, Rachel brings her friends together, helps out Jane, finds out more about who Jane is. All right, so when we read these stories, we think about theme. What are the themes in these stories? And in these stories, connection. How do we connect with other people? How does Rachel connect with her old friends or disconnect? How does Rachel connect with Jane? Does she maintain that connection? Character. Who's good in this story and who's bad? Rachel kind of starts off bad, but then she changes in the middle. And I kind of like how she changes. And also Jane, she changes as well. We start to see her kind of improve in her personality a little bit. She starts to come out of her quiet shell and she shares things with Rachel. So that's sweet to watch. And then, of course, in the new ending, it seems like everyone's going to change and everyone's going to come together. And that's fun and exciting too. All right. I love stories, you guys. I love stories because they just teach us so much about who we are, who we want to be, who we don't want to be. I don't want to be Rachel's friends. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and call it quits there. We're going to end there. And hope you guys, enjoying all that. No. I just knew too much. That made me crazy. That made me crazy.